Hello, wonderful elementary classroom teacher. I have some really fun ways to integrate technology and literacy for your classroom. Would you like to collaborate? Hello, school librarian. That sounds cool, but I don't know if I have the time for that. I'm really busy, actually. This will save you time so you don't have to do all of the planning on your own. I have ideas on current Web 2.0 tools the student can use to create their final project. Also, having two teachers will make the lessons flow smoother so the students can have more one-on-one attention. We can share the load. Well, technology does sound cool. I know our principal will really like that, as well as the parents. I know my students will enjoy working with technology too. We are starting a research unit. Can we collaborate on that? I'm glad you asked. There is a great inquiry-based model we can use called the Independent Investigation Method, or IIM. It has been used in Texas with gifted and talented programs. So it will align itself to STAR's high rigor in regards to using higher-ordered thinking skills. The rationale for this method is that it gives choices to the students to be in charge of their learning process through interest, but also provides teacher guidance. There are independent processes as well as collaborative components to include social learning. Students use their schema on a topic and discuss ideas together with others to further their knowledge construct. It is inquiry-based, which is the new emerging way to teach students how to problem solve versus the old ways of doing research where the teacher tells them what to look for and learning is very linear. What are the students' steps in this process of inquiry? The students are required to go through 7 steps. In step 1, the student will connect to their schema about a topic and create questions they want to probe deeper. Step 2 is the goal setting and planning component, where students figure out time management, sources, and vocabulary. Next, the third step involves the actual research, where they gather and record information through note-taking. Then, in step 4, the student organizes the data by color coding and the use of outlines or graphic organizers. Step 5 involves goal evaluation, where the student can stop and see how they are doing in the process and if they are on the right track. Next, step 6 is where the student creates a product and writes papers to showcase learning. The 7th and final step in the IIM process is the presentation. In this step, the student is responsible to know and understand their audience. They should also be able to be persuasive. These 7 steps will help the student construct a solid way to solve problems or answer questions. Can you give me some examples of sample projects using IIM? Sure, I will give you 3. In the first example, one of the 2nd grade texts requires learning about historical figures. Perfect. Kids can begin an independent investigation of an historical figure. Our essential question can be, what personal actions create significance? We can have them create a mind map of their own actions of significance, so they activate their background knowledge for their understanding of the concept and are ready to connect it to their topic choice. I love it. Then, we can have each student set their goals. They can write questions related to their historical figure. I think we should guide them so that their questions uncover the person's significance. Why should we learn about this person? I agree. What if you lead during the goal setting to help the kids develop questions, and I will help them to find their resources to answer the questions? Does that work for you? It does. I'm going to enjoy this collaboration. During the next stage, when they research, I'd love for you to take the lead on explaining plagiarism. We need to make sure the kids understand how to paraphrase, not plagiarize. If you'll instruct on plagiarism, I can lead on paraphrasing, but let's develop the lesson plans together. That's collaboration, correct? You are exactly correct. Then it's on to organization. Since they are researching historical figures, let's teach them how to organize their information on a timeline as a pre-writing strategy. Great idea. It will make organizing their final product easier to plan if their information is laid out on a timeline first. Plus, they can spot information that can be left out if it does not contribute to understanding the person's significance. They'll want to just write a sequential report, but an overview on the timeline might encourage them to synthesize in a different way. This is the perfect time for goal evaluation. Have they gathered the needed information? I can develop a rubric to score their timelines. I'll grade them. You'll grade them? Really? Thank you. That would help so much. I'm always overwhelmed with grading. Collaboration is less work once we get started. I can help them self-evaluate according to the rubric, and then you can complete the teacher evaluation and conference with them for any revision work needed. Once we've finished student rubric conferences, let's move on to final product choices. I have some Web 2.0 tools we can introduce. For this project, I'd love to introduce XtraNormal and Voki. They are both animation tools with audio. The kids can have their characters speaking about themselves. Their research will come to life. What a great idea! Can we include another grade level in this project? The kids can share their animations with one another for the presentation phase. Why don't I invite both a 3rd and 4th grade teacher to collaborate with me, as well? In 3rd grade, the kids could choose a contemporary hero. This would contrast well against the historical figures of 2nd grade. I think Mrs. Moore would love this. Can we ask her? And Mrs. Valdez loves technology in 4th grade. I think she'd enjoy this collaboration. Will do. In 4th grade, the kids can research the accomplishments of a notable figure in Texas history, like Sam Houston. This would give us a wonderful sharing thread which is also vertically aligned. Each grade level, at the end of collaboration with me, can share with one another. Will you do the exact same project with each grade level? Not exactly. For 3rd grade, since they'll research heroes, I'd like to do a cause and effect graphic organizer. This will clearly connect their heroes' actions to the results. I think this is better, for that tech, than a timeline. And they'll have different Web 2.0 tools as well. They can choose between Powtoon or Fakebook. What about for 4th grade? Will you change anything? Yes. Since they'll research a notable figure in Texas history, and 4th grade students must pass the writing star, I think it's important to complete an expository writing about their figure, but I'd like them to use their Google Docs accounts for it. This way, students can share their writing with one another to revise and edit. Also, I'd like to teach them how to create a chart. This can be the visual part of their presentation. They can create it with Google's presentation tool and their Google Docs account, and all of the kids can upload their final products onto their student edublogs. This is how they can share them. We can include time for them to view classmate and other grade level presentations and leave comments on them. Wow, great idea. Together, we are a collaborative force. Why don't you book the computer lab and I'll explain IM in collaboration to Mrs. Moore and Mrs. Valdez. May the force be with them, too. Sounds great. I like the organizational skills required for IIM. This will help them not only now but in their lifelong learning journey. You got it. So let's set up a meeting time so we can hash out the plans together. After the final products are completed by the students, we can go over the assessment of it together as well. I'm looking forward to co-teaching and collaborating.